The evolution of place. Downtown Brooklyn was a farmland in 18th century, then transformed to urbanized in 19th century. In 20th century, following World War II, the City Planning Commission presented the Master Plan for Public Improvement Program. It pushed the city to modernization. After suffering with the fiscal crisis in 1970s, a more aggressive economic development revitalized this area. Later on, rezoning in 2004 resulted significant expansion of office space and ground floor retail. Mixed-use commercial and residential development in downtown Brooklyn extend to the adjacent Brownstone neighborhood. Over time, development is occurring at Pacific Park, the former Atlantic Yards. It is bringing continuing change to this place. It is creating the undulating skyline with buildings of varying height in this area. The evolution of place profoundly affects the community in every aspect. Barclay Center is the symbol of the evolution that is an important neighbor to the nearby historic district. There are four major elements that influence the place, including urban planning, building design, transportation, and economic. Let's see, how did the evolution of place transform the area of Barclay Center site?
Let's go back in time, somewhere around the early 1900s. The word transportation has evolved over time and is said to have changed the world drastically. especially in a well-known area of Brooklyn known as the Atlantic Yards. Transportation is known as going from one place to another. According to the Brooklyn Daily Eagle in 1916, an image from the research from the Brooklyn collection at the Brooklyn Library, early Atlantic Avenue transportation consisted of many horse-drawn carriages to bring people around town from one place to another, including work. It consisted of a fully closed-off carriage in that the rider was secluded from viewing what was around them. During that time, according to the Brooklyn Library Digital Collection, around the 1920s, there came to be elevated railways that didn't last long due to the demapping of the streets. As pictured in the New York City map in 1924, commuters crossed over to Manhattan using cable cars over the Brooklyn Bridge back and forth to travel to work. Over the years, the use of vehicles came to be a mode of traveling around on the busy streets around the Atlantic Avenue site. Motor vehicles, buses, and trains played a big role in what would be today's world, not just around Brooklyn, but most of New York. Of what is considered trains, now was once different the Long Island Railroad. As stated by the Railroad Press, it was once a commuter train for goods as in wood, construction, etc. A freight train called the NYA, also known as the New York and Atlantic Railway, to now what is the Long Island Railroad that provides many commuters today around Brooklyn. The Barclays Center, when created in the early 2000s, was a route to subway lines service in creating one of the biggest, with 10 subway lines providing routes to Manhattan and the other boroughs, intersecting different areas, and 6 bus lines right outside the arena around Brooklyn that are usually always crowded around the terminal. The Atlantic Avenue Terminal is a pit stop for tourists and regular commuters. This site is now more consistent on Uber, Lyft, and the ever-improving Atlantic Terminal to get home or around from the events around the site of this project. The transformation of transportation had a major increase of many forms of business by gaining many people coming across the area every day.
Therefore, in conclusion,
our site of the Atlantic Yards has evolved in many ways, including the design, transportation, urban planning, and as well as economics. It has evolved over time from roads being demapped, new projects being built, and changes made in modes of moving from place to place. Though not all the changes have impacted the area successfully, but also have changed the way people live around the Atlantic Yards Barclays Center site.